Daniel, so you were a member of Culver City's city council, and then you became mayor, and now you're running for Congress. Do you feel like you're just rushing into this a little quick?
Not really.
I'm
Though,
totally kidding. I just seemed like a funny thing to say. But anyway, I didn't mean it. What I really meant to ask is you're running for Karen Bass's seat, who is running for mayor of LA. Um, Tell me about District 37.
yeah, I mean, I feel like the 37th is a microcosm of not just Los Angeles, but California and the nation. Like on the west side, closer to me, there's Culver City, Cheviot Hills, multimillionaires. And then you go down to South LA and Southeast LA, and there are people who really survive on like $20,000 a year, like in Los Angeles. And it's not just them, it's usually families who survive on $20,000 a year. And I think there are a number of issues that exist within that little microcosm. Of course, it includes Culver, Westchester, Mid City, parts of Koreatown, USC, a little part of downtown as well. But that's really the nation that we're looking at. And Los Angeles is such a cosmopolitan city that, in terms of ethnic makeup, it mirrors the nation as well. But all of the issues that we have in the 37th are the issues that are really pertinent to people still struggling to, you know, come back from the economic fallout of the pandemic.
Yeah, absolutely. And you, I mean, you're for Medicare for all. You're for a Green New Deal. Um, you're running for Congress. You could be part of the squad, newest member.
Well, actually, that's a bit of a selling point. Like, I I talk about this a lot, but there's like the California that people imagine, and then
Hmm.
there's the actual California. And the California that people imagine is a place that I would love to visit, and maybe buy a house on one salary. Uh,
Lol.
but like when you think of progressives in our Congress on the federal level, don't get me wrong, love Karen Bass, but she is a centrist, and
Mm,
she has her constituencies that she wants to focus on, which I agree with. Foster children, um, families that are impoverished, but she's not going to bat for the Green New Deal, and she's pushing the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, versus the act that the Movement for Black Lives came up with themselves, which would actually work more towards prevention rather than just punishment.
yeah.
I think it's about time for California to have a member of the squad, or four.
Yeah, we don't, right? Like Pelosi?
Well, I mean, I think Barbara Lee's great, but she's been
Mhm.
riding that opposition to the Iraq and Afghanistan war for a long time.
That's true. That is
And you got
true.
like Katie
No,
Porter is pretty good. I don't know if she's considered a part of the squad, but she's good on some of the same issues.
of course,
Ro
yes.
Khanna too. Ro Khanna.
Rokana, yeah.
Let's yeah, no, it's a big state. Forget I said that. Yeah, we love Roe, we love Katie Porter, obviously. Um, but I do want to talk to you about, the the things you did as part or that you're doing as mayor and as part of the city council of Culver City in terms of some pretty big stuff like rent control. Which California can't get passed on a statewide level every time it comes up for a vote. Crazy real estate interests funnel in and we vote these propositions down. And yet then we turn around and scratch our heads about the homelessness crisis and the housing crisis. Tell me about how that worked for you all and what, how difficult it was.
Well, I mean, when I first ran in 2016, I lost by 134 votes. People basically told me, if you want to win, don't talk about rent control. And I was like, well, I'm a renter, so I can't do that. But there's a coalition of homeowners and renters who got together. Like Culver City, people would assume is 90% homeowner, but it's 45 to 50% renter. And most of the little cities in LA County are that way as well. But the politicians get a whole lot of money through sideways deals to not push rent control. And, prior to being elected, and for the last 10 years, I've worked with Move to Amend to push a constitutional amendment that says corporations are not people, money is not free speech, and get money out of
Yes.
politics. And until we do that, ultimately, every proposition that comes up on the state level in California will be like, one of those propositions where paid for by people who love America that's what you vote against. But people don't read, people don't pay attention to that. And as long as they can pump as much money as they want into it, you know, it's going to be difficult to win. I mean, that's the reason that the Prop 22, the Uber Lyft thing passed. I mean, it was overturned by the Supreme Court, but all of those changes are still in place.
Yeah. Yeah, the move to amend is excellent. So it's basically rescinding Citizens United and saying personhood does not apply.
Well, Citizens United, Buckley versus Vallejo, and Santa Clara County versus Southern Pacific Railroad. But we've actually been talking about something else that we're trying to bring into the mainstream a lot more recently, and that's the need to rewrite the Constitution.
You should never just snap the need to rewrite the Constitution, but I'm feeling very Gen Z about it. If you were elected, if you win, how would that? I mean, would you want to bring? Because I feel like one of the most radical pieces is that move to amend. Is the idea that we should amend the Constitution, that corporations cannot, do not have personhood rights, that they're not greater than people. How would you bring that into your work in Congress?
Well, we have an amendment in Congress right now. It's the We the People Amendment, and Pramila Jayapal is our lead sponsor. But from an organizer's perspective, we actually see the amendment as more of a tactic and a broader strategy to try to work towards more transformative system of governance. And we ultimately need a new constitution. I mean, other countries do it every 15 or 20 years. It's not uncommon. Ours was written by white male landowners, and then really didn't include women, indigenous people. My people were 3/5. Even poor white people weren't really considered well. So for me, jumping into politics, I wanted to say a lot of provocative things so people in the center could get some things done. But surprisingly, in Culver City, everything that we've pushed, closing down the Inglewood oil field, passing rent control, getting hero pay for hospital workers, passing reparations, and the one thing I'm going to try to push this year, participatory budgeting. We've gotten all those through, and it's been because of good colleagues, but it's been because of organizing and actually talking to your neighbors.
What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/Bitchuation Room. Do it.